The power of a lunch and learn. I'm going to tell you about lunch and learns, and you're going to think these are old school. Nobody does these anymore. But I interviewed a coach who, because he did lunch and learns, he's now getting to work with NASA. So I bet you'll want to listen. I'm Kanisha Hart. I help struggling, new, and frustrated coaches to build their business to their first six-figure year through the power of podcasting. I am the host of the Coach Up podcast, and I interview 6- and 7-figure coaches about how they built their business to that level so that new, struggling, and frustrated coaches, you can do the same. I also speak on how you forge through fear, because fear is often the underlying, if not the obvious, reason that your business is struggling. And I walk you through how you forge through that so that you can create the future that you want. It becomes a reality, and fear will stop holding your future hostage. So today I want to talk about one of the coaches that I've interviewed on the Coach Up podcast and one of the tactics that he used to build his business to a multiple six-figure business. I think it was over the course of 3 years. He grew drastically in his business. And this is one of the strategies that he used that you're going to say, this is dead, this is old, nobody does this anymore. But they do. You should too, and it works. It is the lunch and learn. What is a lunch and learn? It is where you go to an organization or a company during lunchtime and you provide a learning atmosphere for them based on your expertise and your knowledge. So let's say you're a leadership coach. You can go and contact companies or organizations that meet regularly they don't have to meet, but let's say we'll stick with a company. You go to a company and you say, I would like to offer to your company free training. I'll bring food during lunchtime to help you improve your leadership, to help your managers improve their connection and communication skills with their team members, to help your leadership to understand how to better navigate conflict in the workplace. I will come in and talk to your team about how to promote themselves within their business so that they can move to the next step that they want to in a leadership capacity. There's so many things that you can do, right? You know all of the things that you can talk about in your area of expertise. But the Lunch and Learn allows you to go into a company. It allows you to create a relationship with the company. It doesn't cost them anything, but you're providing value. And it gives you so many benefits. One, to the actual people that you are presenting, they're now going to look at you as an expert because you are coming in to give them very valuable information. So they are looking to you as an expert. They may become potential clients, especially because you're a coach. They may refer you to someone who may become a potential client. And most of all, they are going to become an advocate for you in that company, because when you do a great job, they're going to give feedback to their manager, to their leader, to whoever organized that event, and allowed you to come in to say, oh my goodness, this person was great. You were amazing. I got so much value out of them. I learned this. I'm going to be able to apply this. And that will encourage whoever booked you to bring you back, right? Or to do further business with you in maybe a longer, more permanent situation. So it could turn from a opportunity where you were giving value for free and pro bono, where maybe they want to hire you to do work with you because of the impact that you've now had. So that's one benefit. The other benefit is, I just talked about it. Let's say you want to get into a particular company, or you want to create a relationship with a company and you haven't been able to get in the door. They're not offering what they say to you. They're not offering any contracts right now. They're not paying any money out for the services that you offer. And so you feel like you're at a dead end with them. Well, what a Lunch and Learn can do is now you come in for free. Again, you provide value to them and they get a chance to up close and personal see what you have to offer. You don't get that chance when you're just pitching or when you're sending an email or making a phone call and trying to set up a meeting with somebody. They don't get that, but you have now garnered an hour, 45 minutes of time where you can invite them in, whoever is the contact there at the organization that you've been trying to get together with, to do business with, or even if it's the, like I said, the employees or the HR person, whoever set it up, you now get to spend extended amount of time showing off your skills and what value you bring to them that they never would have had or given you the time of day to do before. And that's your opportunity to use that as your calling card to say, now you see what I can offer. This is why you should do business with me. That is a huge boon. And then on top of that, because now they know you, they are more likely to do business with you because they have seen what you have to offer. Now, you do have to ask for the business. You do have to remind them that you are interested. They're not going to typically just say, oh, you came and did this for free. Let's pay you $17,000 to come back. No, you're going to have to ask. But the Lunch and Learn allows you to showcase your skills, your value that you bring, what impact and transformation you can provide for that company to them, firsthand knowledge, so they can't dispute it. The other thing that's beautiful about Lunch and Learns is the company that you go in to do this with, they are partners. Their people know people at other companies that are similar or maybe not even similar, maybe competitors, maybe in the family of supporting network and industry, what have you, but they know other companies. Because they've now seen your work that you came in to do for free, they will, you have to ask, refer you to other companies to do more Lunch and Learns. And so you're getting your foot in the door in a way that's so plausible and so powerful because you are getting to show off your skill set and the value you bring in a time limit that has been given to you enough for you to be able to do that, right? This is not a 15-minute pitch. It's not even a pitch. You're getting to show them what you get to do. And that's so much more powerful. And you're putting yourself directly in front of and in contact with and in relationship with the people who can make decisions to bring you on as a paid coach. So I want to encourage you to do Lunch and Learns. So these are a couple of things to think about. So one, I mentioned the coach that I talked to who is now going to be working with NASA because he did Lunch and Learns. And how that happened is, if I remember the story correctly, he did Lunch and Learns at his Chamber of Commerce. At the Chamber of Commerce, which again, is not a quote unquote company like corporation, but it's a great place to do your Lunch and Learns because you're in front of business owners. Yes? So he was doing Lunch and Learns at a Chamber of Commerce. He did it for, I think he said a year, maybe longer, it might have been 2 years, but he did it at least for a year. And in doing that consistently, I don't know if it was, I think it might have been every month. I could be getting those details wrong, but it was consistently throughout the year for at least a year, maybe 2. And sometimes he would have 1 or 2 people. Sometimes he finally grew to a few more, right? But the size doesn't matter. What happened was the organization saw his consistency, and from his work doing those Lunch and Learns, one of the individuals who was a contact for him, who was there, who was interacting with him, heard him do the Lunch and Learn, I think invited him to do something for their company. And in him doing something for their company, he was on the phone facilitating. Somebody from NASA or somebody who could book NASA heard him, and he got booked to go to NASA. I'm pretty sure I'm giving you those details correctly. If not, you will hear his story on the Coach Up podcast when that episode drops. But ultimately, big client comes from the work of Lunch and Learn, the start of it. And that's what I want you to take away. It may seem like you really want to make the money right now. And I am with you because this platform and my podcast is all about, the Coach Up podcast is all about helping you as a frustrated, struggling, or new coach make your first 6 figures in a year in your business, right? That may not be your ultimate pinnacle goal. It may not even be your goal yet. But what I can tell you is the fact that when you get to 6 figures, life just gets a little more interesting, right? Life just gets a little easier, I think. And so that is why I am passionate about bringing the Coach Up podcast to you. And this method is one method that, proven by a coach who earns multiple 6 figures in his business, works. And so I want you to take this away about Lunch and Learns. A couple of things to do. 1, when you are booking the Lunch and Learn, be strategic about who you're booking it with. And what do I mean by that? I mean, Go to the companies who you have been, I know that light just changed, right? We got light issues going on. Go to the company and companies that you have been attempting to do business with and pitch this to them. Again, you're offering a free service, you're offering value to them that aligns with what they need or what they're doing. Hopefully, you know that. I won't say most, but you have a good chance of being able to get in the door that way, probably more than you had just pitching your services, right? People like to do business with people they know, like, and trust. If they don't know you and you're pitching your service, they're less likely to pick you than if they know you because you've offered free services, you've come in, you've done something with their organization, you've worked with them, they know you, you're now one of the go-tos. So be strategic about the companies that you pitch this to or the organizations. Think about who you want to do business with, or if you're looking at organizations, who has your ideal client most likely in the audience. That's where you want to offer this pro bono, free, value-driven service to. Second of all, some companies, some organizations already provide lunch, so you may not have to. So it may not cost you anything. Go in with the expectation that it may cost you something. You're likely going to have to provide lunch. That's typically what the person who's doing the lunch and learn does. You provide lunch. However, don't be afraid to ask. I would love to come in and do this lunch and learn for you. Do you all typically provide the lunch for your employees or your team members, or would you like me to bring that in? I would ask the first question and stop. If they say, no, we don't, then you offer to bring it in, right? Then be smart about what you bring in. Obviously, we have to be considerate of dietary restrictions, and we also have to be considerate of our budget. So make sure you're doing something that's not excessively expensive. You don't have to go out and impress these people. Most of the people in the world are just going to be appreciative of free food. They didn't have to pack their lunch that day, or if they did, they get to keep it for another day, or they didn't have to go out and spend money because somebody provided free lunch. And as long as it's good, it doesn't have to be great. So you can do salad and a rotisserie chicken from the local grocery store that cost you all of $20, right? You do not have to go out and get Jason's Deli or get sandwiches from Subway or any of that. Get something that goes a long way. It's fairly inexpensive that most people can eat. And when you have a salad, they can either get it with or without chicken. For those who don't eat meat, you've got both options, and it's healthy, right? And a bag of salad costs you, a big bag costs you $10. Some chicken, you're good to go. So be smart about that. And then the third thing is make sure you follow up. Make sure you follow up and you have a method to follow up with not only the person who booked you, but also with the people who attend. So have some sort of giveaway that you get their information, or have them sign, clear it with the company or the organization that they have to sign up for your lunch and learn. And so you get that information. So their name and email address and whatever else you're collecting, because like I said, those could be potential clients for you as a coach, right? In the future, or the company will be a potential client, or both, right? And then on the follow-up side, you all have to, excuse me, I don't know what's itching my nose, but thank you for your patience. On the follow-up side, follow up more than once. Make sure you go back to the person who brought you in to say, thank you. First follow-up, thank you for having me. It was a delight. Second follow-up, I was thinking I had such a good time at your company with your employees that I hope that I'm able to provide the same value to other companies. And I was curious if you know anybody at any other companies, if you have a fellow HR team member that you know at another company, or if you have a colleague that you know at another company where you think what I brought to your company might be helpful for them and they would look well on you for suggesting it. Number 2, follow up, right? You might drop that hint when you're there, obviously, but that's your second follow up. The third follow up is to offer to come back. It was such a great time. I'm hearing feedback that the employees got a lot out of it, or the attendees got a lot out of it. I'd like to offer to come back and provide this service again. When can we set that up? I have availability in XYZ month. Would that date or would those weeks work for you? So make sure you're doing at least 3 follow-ups, right? And then put them on your calendar to follow up with in another 3 months, in another 4 months, in another 6 months, right? it's now a warm lead and it's going to bring so much value to you. So I know Lunch and Learns seem to be a thing of the past, and you can do these virtually, but I say dig in locally. Go to your local companies and offer this, because I'm telling you, you will see a return. It may be a long-term play, and maybe not. You might get some immediate returns, customers, clients immediately, but this is one of those where you're building relationships, you're showing your value, and then people start to say, oh, we want to do more business with them. We want to do more business with her. We want to do more business with him. And then we want to pay them. And so that is what your Lunch and Learns can lead to. So I encourage you, put Lunch and Learns back in your repertoire of how you are building your business, clientele, and networking. And I am telling you, you will see growth as you go. Thank you for tuning in. Oh my goodness, I completely forgot. So I am in this. I need you to subscribe and follow, and I need you to share this with other people. So if this was helpful to you, if this sparked an idea, if you thought, oh, okay, I hadn't thought about doing that, but I can do that because I can see how this can lead me to my first 6 figures in a year, then I want you to make sure you follow, you subscribe, because I am working on a goal of doing 30 videos in 30 days in September. I missed yesterday, but I will make it up. To grow my YouTube channel as the extension of the podcast, the Coach Up Podcast platform, and my speaking. And so I want to ask you if you would subscribe, because my other goal is to get to 10,000 subscribers in 30 days. I know it's crazy, but if we're going to go big, right? And I want this channel to grow, and I want it to be an available resource for you that you love. So subscribe, share with other people, help me to get to this 10,000 in 30 days, which is in 21 days, if you would, and I would be so very appreciative. Okay, Kanisha, signing off.